Alright, today we are starting from the Green Line Ridgeland stop in Oak Park, and we're headed up to Niles to Greenwood Deli, and then cutting over to Tensuke in Arlington Heights, and then down the Salt Creek Trail, back to the Prairie Path, and circling back. So going up Ridgeland, and then eventually Narragansett, and then Nagel. This is pretty easy to ride up. There's definitely a lot of traffic, especially after 10 o'clock. But a lot of it's actually stop and go because of the stop signs. So if you're not meaning to go too fast, it can get crowded, but otherwise it's pretty safe going down here at any time of the day. If you keep going, you'll eventually hit Superdog at Milwaukee, but we're actually going to make a left onto Northwest Highway. And same thing with Ridgeland. It's just really nice spacing, and the cars are pretty chill. And there are a lot of different downtowns that you'll be hitting where you could potentially stop and check out what's going on in the area. Downtown Park Ridge looks especially pretty cool, so if there's a breakfast place that you recommend in that area, let me know. Now, I should have taken this all the way to Western, but for some reason I made it right onto Greenwood, which isn't that great. So I course corrected, cut through a residential area, and found my way back to Western. And then you just keep going straight, you'll see the hospital on the left, and then there's Greenwood Deli. Now, Greenwood Deli has my favorite bagel, regardless of inside or outside the city, where the bagel is chewy and yet you have a clean bite. And honestly, why would you wait 2 hours in line for a bagel when you can ride an hour and a half bike ride each way to get the best bagel? So anyway, we're headed back down Western, and I made a right onto Oakton to then get to Algonquin/Riverside Drive. And Algonquin is super leisurely, all the way over to Elmhurst Road/83. Now, the original plan was to take Algonquin all the way to Mitzwa and grab some stuff, but the road and the sidewalk on that side was blocked. So I went south on 83, rode on the sidewalks, and then got onto Higgins. Now, if you are remotely a fan of Japanese food, you should be making a point to coming out to Arlington Heights and having some Japanese food at Mitsuwa, Tensuke, and there are a ton of different restaurants in the area, especially Kurumaya on Higgins. It's just fantastic home cooked food. So at Arlington Heights and Higgins, you see Tensuke on the left, and you see the Bussy Woods where you could then do a loop there. But we are going south to Landmeyer and then to Ridge. And then I'm going to get interrupted by two girls that were yelling at me from the street, and I thought that they needed help, but they were just yelling. Now keep going south until you hit Devon, and if you make a left on Devon, that's where the Krispy Kreme with all of the fundraiser donuts are. But keep going south into the industrial park, and holy crap, somebody's selling empanadas out of the Amazon parking lot. They were just okay. Also, I think she charged me extra. So just keep going, and then you'll start seeing signs for the Salt Creek Trail. And now you're on here, and what's great about the Salt Creek Trail north of Elmhurst is that there are just signs everywhere to direct you where to go. Pretty much at every single turn, there was a sign to tell me where to turn. And so what's great about the Salt Creek Trail over some other trails is that it's 100% paved. Where it ends, it has great signage to tell you where to go, and it's nowhere near that crowded compared to other paths like the Prairie Path. And with the Japanese grocery stores to the north, and to the breweries and the meadery in Villa Park, it's pretty great. Alright, so now you know accidents don't happen from doing things that are dangerous, it's from being absolutely stupid. And don't forget to stretch to prevent injury. So while there was rain earlier in the day, the limestone paths were just fine, and also there was no flooding underneath any of the bridges. And again, all you have to do is just keep following the signs, and it'll keep you on the Salt Creek Trail. And once you find yourself on Monterey Ave, that's where you make a left, and now you're on the Prairie Path and headed into Elmhurst. Now, you could take the Prairie Path all the way to the Forest Park Blue Line, but sometimes I like to make a left onto York and then take St. Charles Road all the way back. East of York, St. Charles Road is pretty empty, and especially east of the expressway. It almost any time during the day, weekday, weekend, afternoon, morning, uh, generally pretty clear, and the drivers are pretty chill. If you have any food recommendations here, I am all ears. Once you're approaching Maywood, my two favorite spots to stop at is Dunk Donuts, specifically in the morning when the donuts are fresh. And then there's Cornitas Don Alfredo over at 171 in the gas station. I like that one for whatever reason compared to Cornitas Don Alfredo original and the other one across the street from it. And but yeah, get the Cornitas Mixtas. It's fantastic. So once you hit the end of St. Charles Road, you make a left and then immediate right onto Lake. And that takes you into River Forest. You can go a little bit south to ride on Central, where there are almost no cars, and that'll take you straight to the Green Line. If you do want to stop and hang around at Oak Park, I do like the beer shop. They have some great ciders in the area. And then if you want to keep going further, Threefold Bakery is my favorite bakery in the area now. So go check it out. So yeah, I hope this encourages you to check out Greenwood Deli, to check out the Salt Creek Trail. This is one of my favorite routes to take, rain or shine.